Hi, welcome to Costume Commentary. I'm Kate.
And I'm Brit, and today we're going to be reviewing the costumes from the ongoing TV show by the CW,
Anthropology. We're doing Rain?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, it's a historical TV show about Mary, Queen of Scots from 16th century France.
But it looks like they filmed it in Anthropology.
I think they did.
So, CW's Reign is about Mary, Queen of Scots, who ended up marrying Francis, the King of France. The show follows young Mary as she goes through French court and learns about how court life works after she had lived the entirety of her life with nuns.
Yes.
It goes through lots of court intrigue, and it's basically turned into Mary, Queen of Scots, the soap opera.
Yeah, sort of like Gossip Girl, but set in 16th century France. Overall, we're incredibly displeased.
I mean, if they were looking to make a guilty pleasure that all of us hid and turned off the moment somebody walked through the door, they were successful.
Yeah, because that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
I don't think I've talked to anybody who watches this show who actually thinks it's good.
Yeah, or is proud of it. I watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am bearing my soul right now. I watch this show. And I gag at the costumes.
It's sort of like eating McDonald's. Like, you know it's not good, but you eat it anyway, but you don't admit that you ate McDonald's for lunch.
No.
That's what this show is. So, first off, the wild horses that are historical inaccuracies within this show. I read interviews where the costume designer stated that the studio came to her and right off the bat was like, we don't want to recreate historical costumes because we want to make this relatable to teenage girls. And that's sort of your first mistake. Teenage girls aren't dumb. They bought a lot of their clothes from Free People and Anthropology, and some of it is rented from Alexander McQueen and Dolce & Gabbana and has no merit in any sort of historical accuracy.
When you pander to a young audience, you're insinuating that audience has no idea what historical accuracy is and has no idea what content is. And that's really sad, because is that what you think of your audience?
Yeah.
That's not right.
Especially the fact that this show's meant for teenage girls, and they were like, oh, they won't notice. They notice. I guarantee you. So, getting specific. Everyone in this show is running around in the 16th century equivalent of their underwear. Every single one of them. Including King Francis and Mary, Queen of Scots. Because as we discussed in our Bioshock Infinite video, corsets are underwear. Also, the white shirt underneath a doublet is underwear. So not only are all the girls running around in their underwear or not wearing a corset at all, but the guys all have their doublets open, showing off their underwear.
One weird thing that I noticed in every single episode, all of the girls are wearing a tiara. That's not right. No, that would have been insulting to royalty. Especially if your ladies in waiting are wearing nicer tiaras than you are. That's a huge insult.
The one piece of headwear that is accurate, but for an incredibly unfortunate reason, is flower crowns. Syphilis was running rampant during the time, and flower crowns hid the horrid smell. So everyone in that show who's wearing a flower crown, it's sort of being implied they might have syphilis. The biggest issue that I have with it is that they totally could have gone accurate, or at least more accurate.
Yeah.
And it's not a budget problem, it's not a talent problem, at least I hope not. I have faith in the costume designer. At least somewhat, you know, the studio came and told her what to do, it's not her fault, but the budget is there. They're renting costumes from Alexander McQueen and Dolce & Gabbana. They have the money to do it right, and they don't. So, probably the most accurate character as far as historical costuming is Catherine de Medici, the Queen Regent of France. She is the closest out of all of them. She's still not quite right.
No.
She's never wearing the proper undergarments. The silhouette of her skirts are not the most accurate, but she comes the closest because she's not wearing modern clothing for 20-something girls. You know, they actually made things for her to wear, but still not right. And that says something when the closest you have to 16th century France as far as costumes is like putting your Queen Regent in something that's probably from the 17th century and makes no sense.
Even if you're not going completely accurate and you're embellishing on the stories a little bit, at least do something right. Something at all.
There was one outfit, a single outfit, and it's not even in the show. It is in a promo picture for the show.
It's a semblance of accuracy.
It's the closest they ever got, and it's never in the show. You have girls wearing sleeveless dresses, some of them wearing strapless dresses. It looks like they went to David's Bridal and brought something from the prom section. Transparent fabrics, which no, never. They all have their hair down, again, never. It's one of the most inaccurate costume jobs I've ever seen.
Speaking of them going out and purchasing wedding dresses, when I got married, I fell in love with a wedding dress from BNLD Anthropology's wedding line. It was this gorgeous dress that screamed 1920s to me, 1910s, 1920s, and I was watching an episode of Rain, and suddenly Lolo's wearing it.
I'm speechless, so I will pass it on to Kate to discuss character development.
Like I have said before, I do actually watch the show. One thing I can say is that the costumes do fit the characters. Specifically with Mary's Ladies in Waiting, each of the girls have a very specific style that fits their personalities. And not just on a simple level, but on a deep level. Greer, one of her Ladies in Waiting, she came from a not so well-off family. Like, they were okay, but they were pushing her to make a better marriage in life so she could have a better life and that her family could have a better life. And she always dresses a little bit better than her status, trying to fit in with people who are of better status than her. And that really plays into her character with how well she dresses. Kenna is this free spirit who's a bit of a floozy. I say that out of the kindness of my heart.
And spoiler alert, she sleeps with the king.
And she's always in these very bohemian, loose and flowy dresses, and she's always got flower crowns on and circlets, and it's just, she's this huge free spirit, and her outfits really reflect that, and she's always kind of questioning the status quo, and so a lot of times she's not in a corset. And I think that fits her character in the fact that she's always kind of like questioning how things are. Lola, they dressed very romantic, and although she's not the most romantic character, but all of the other girls seem like they're kind of willing to marry for advantages. Meanwhile, she's like, my family's rich, I don't have to. She's not out there to go make a match. She's out there to find somebody who she might possibly grow to love one day. And so that fits her character there. Mary, I like Mary's costumes, but I don't like them at the same time because I feel a lot of times her Ladies in Waiting outshine her.
Oh yeah.
But she as herself, and the way that they dress her, they always made a part of her outfit look like armor because she is a warrior queen. She's always got this like fine jewelry on and these, she dresses in dark colors a lot.
Yeah.
And it's great because it kind of makes her this imposing figure even when she's just a girl.
Yeah. That is the one testament to the show that we will say is that as far as how the costumes relate to those characters, that is very well thought out. But you can have horrible costumes that fit the characters if the show isn't that great either. So that's kind of where we stand on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, so bad news first. Let's talk about our least favorites. My least favorite comes from the very first season of the show. I don't remember which episode, but they're having a costume party, essentially. And Kenna shows up wearing a fairy costume that is essentially an exposed corset covered in strips of purple and green mesh. And it's a costume that I feel like you would buy today from one of those Halloween Town pop-up shops that are only there for like the week before Halloween and all their clothes are made out of plastic. She looks very exposed and inappropriate and kind of flashy, which within historical context, the Ladies in Waiting, that is not their job. They're essentially there to make Mary look great, feel great, and tend to her every whim as like feminine companions. Their job was to be one step behind so that she could shine, and this show is constantly not doing that.
My least favorite is, I believe in season 2 or 3, and it's Greer's wedding dress. One thing that the CW doesn't realize is that wearing white as your wedding dress wasn't really a thing that had come about yet. Greer wears this matronly, like quilted skirt dress that, I mean, even if it's not historically accurate at all, it's just ugly, and it makes Greer look like ugly.
Yeah.
I can't even think of anything else to call it.
It looks like upholstery fabric.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And I mean, from the waist up, other than her hair, it looks okay. But then I see that skirt. That skirt.
Also, random unfun fact, why is everyone else at the wedding also wearing white?
That is the second wedding they're all wearing white. In Mary's wedding they all wear white, and in Greer's wedding they all wear white. Why?
You've already broken historical accuracy and brought in a tradition that didn't exist by having the bride wear white, and then you break that tradition that you brought in from another time to have them all wear white.
White dresses weren't something that would have been worn a lot because they got dirty. It cost so much, and it took so much time to have a dress tailored for you that wearing white was a bad idea.
Yeah. And because it's so expensive, especially at, say, Mary's wedding, if they were going to splurge and get a white dress, you're not going to put all your ladies in waiting also in white.
No.
Never, ever. Especially in a bunch of dresses that really do look like they were purchased from David's Bridal. So, better news. Which one was your favorite?
My favorite is Greer's outfits for the entirety of season 1. From the beginning scene where they all get out of the carriage, I singled out Greer as, that's the girl I'm gonna like. Okay, maybe not immediately, the first time she opened her mouth. And she always, like I've said before, she dressed higher than her social status, but she never made it seem like she was trying too hard.
Yeah.
They always dressed her in these deep blues and greens that accentuated her features, and she just looks like somebody who is there to make a difference in her own life and other people's lives. And I like that.
So my favorite is from, I believe it's season 1, but I'm not sure. But it's a dress that Mary wears. It's totally historically inaccurate, but pretty. And she wears it to some sort of party that they have. Don't even remember the plot. This is how much the bad costuming has distracted me. I have no idea what's happened in this show. Because I spend the entire time just like, oh no. But I remember this one dress, and it's got this sheer fabric up top and these, I think they're embroidered birds that fall down, and then this skirt, and it's a really flattering shape on the actress, who is a beautiful actress.
Yes.
They're all pretty, I mean, some of the acting's okay, but some of them are really good actors. I'm sorry that you have to be in such bad clothes. The interesting thing about this dress, which is my favorite dress, is it was purchased from an evening wear designer named Basil Soda. I think that's how you pronounce that. Yeah, it's definitely not a dress from 16th century France, that's for sure, but it's pretty.
Yes. We hope that you liked this video. We're sorry that we were so mean.
Yeah.
But if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe so that way you can get news on the next videos that we're going to be making.
So this coming Wednesday, we're going to be doing a first part of a 2-part review of the costumes from the Dragon Age series, from Origins to Inquisition. We're going through all of it, group by group. So if you want to see that, make sure to click subscribe so you can be notified about it as soon as it comes out.
Thank you for watching!
Dragon Age dating tips.
Ding! Well, normally I romance Cullen. Every single time I'm like, I'm gonna romance somebody different, and then I'm like,
romance Cullen.
then I romance Cullen because he's a puppy.
I need to finish my Dragon Age Inquisition playthrough because I'm romancing Dorian, but I really want to romance